All right, y'all. Let's get straight to it. Shout outs to FeedX.
It's FeedX. So I got some fun
FeedX.
comments in my last video. This young Jackie Chan is spitting facts. What does FeedX know? He can't even make it out of top 64.
Dang! That's
anyway,
tough.
Today was the North American finals of the Tekken World Tour. And at the very end, we got some more details on the heat system coming in Tekken 8. So disclaimer, people seem to think that I'm hating on or doubting Tekken 8 and that I'm pessimistic and overreacting, and I'm not, I swear. It's strictly analysis from a competitive standpoint, and I'm...
Guys, I'm done roasting, man. Y'all know I was being over the top for the internet, right? Y'all know I was freaking trolling, right? I mean, come on now. We only seen a little bit of what Tekken 8 can do, and so I'm just going by that. But yeah, I had to exaggerate it, you know? But let's continue.
I'm really curious about how they can maintain depth while going for their theme of aggression. Once again, there are timestamps if you need it. Hit the 2x speed if you need it. Let's get into it. So first things first, let's rewatch the trailer. I'll let it run one time, and then we'll go through it frame by frame together.
Let's try it, please.
Let's do it.
That's pretty sick.
Which I saw the day of. That was showcasing the gameplay a little bit more. Pretty much recapping
this time, so you can really see it.
Everything that went on in that trailer. I like Jin's new stance, by the way.
In dash cancels and then whiffs. Probably Dex is high, I should say. Alright, so let's check it out again. So this sequence starts with Jack landing a giant power mid. This is his back two currently in Tekken 7. And it switches to a full cutscene.
Is it his back two?
View where he runs in. And you can see
I don't play Jack. I haven't played Jack since he was Jack 2 in Tekken 2. So I don't know. So all you Jack players out there that play Tekken, let me know in the comments. Well, is it back 2? I don't seem like a back 2 move, but all right.
It's kind of glowing with flames, right? He does this forward 2-2, summons the railgun, and now you can see he's no longer glowing. So whatever move he did after that seems to have spent his heat. And it looks
It seemed like they had Power Crush in the game too.
Right? He's not glowing. So landing the back two.
It seemed like they had Power Crush in the game too, and that's what I don't like.
The heat gauge or whatever it's going to be. Does the move and spends it. And now he's back to normal.
Okay.
So Lars.
What's that move Lars did in the beginning? What is this? What is this?
He does this power mid move.
What is that?
And then he's still glowing. But when he does this attack and does the dash cancel.
What is that move in the beginning, Lars? That's a new move, but it just looked funny.
Right. But whatever he did likely takes 2 charges of heat. Same thing here. Jin is starting in a neutral state. He lands the 1+2, and then
that looked like
the
new animation of 1+2.
Sprint means you're generating heat.
Because he did 3 punches.
He does his running 2, spends the heat to do the dash cancel, and you can see he's still glowing. Okay, so that move he did seemed to have generated 2 charges, and even here when he gets hit, he's still glowing. Right?
Is that a new bound there? What Kazuya did?
Though. Watch Kazuya through this whole sequence.
You're right.
So you see, he's not. There's no colors or anything. He is glowing red as he blocks these.
I don't like all the colors, man. That like visually, that's too much, bro. Like I said, now I was serious about that. Like the colors need to be a little toned down because it's kind of obnoxious in certain, angles and stuff. Like I know they're trying to give you an indicator of what is going on, but it's too much coloring going on for me.
He's still not glowing. But he transforms to devil mode, and now he's glowing. So did he have enough heat to go into devil mode?
This game has to have meter. Like I told y'all.
I'm not sure.
Like I told y'all before, and I even said this 2 years ago. I said Tekken 8 is going to have meter. It has to have meter. The heat has to have meter. It's going to look funny to me having a Tekken game with meter. Look what you was starting, Akuma and Geese and Eliza.
Looks like the latter. I think that he must have some devil transformation that gives him heat. Maybe it's triggered by rage. We don't know enough yet. We don't know if this glowing red is like generating heat or is it removing heat because they want it to value aggression, right? So is blocking going to reduce your heat gauge? We don't know. I don't play other games with meter, so I can't really comment on what is effective and what isn't. It's all going to be pretty new to me. So what we know so far is that the full sprint with the cutscene and the over-the-shoulder view looks like it generates heat. We don't know if it's 1, we don't know if it's 2, or maybe more, because Jack spends it immediately and it goes away. Jin spends it and then gets to do his cancel again, right? So this is still a little vague because we don't have any UI to go off of. We can't see
that
the meter,
move is weird to
me. Or not. But it appears that landing certain
from
moves
Lara's
will put you in
at the
that sprinting
beginning
animation, and that's what generates your heat. And then certain moves will spend it. So you can see Jack here glowing like bright red. Looks like there's flames coming out. His move is glowing with a lot of hit sparks, and then once it completes, he flashes white right here. And that white flash must indicate the end of heat. One other thing I'm confused about is what these power moves are that warp the screen and turn it blue. My guess is that would be another heat mechanic based on how the previous heat mechanics warp the screen. But it's a little ambiguous if Lars is flashing white here to indicate that he's losing heat or spending it.
I just need to tone down the colors.
Forward dash.
You know, the
and
aura
then the heat
and all that.
Is gone, right? So not too sure how that works. The other
tone it down a little bit.
Does it here, you can see that he's not heated.
Visually is messy.
And then suddenly, he transforms into the devil and is heated.
That's just my opinion.
Even though the screen is warped like this, like it was when Jin landed his initial heat attack, which you can see here, you can see that landing the attack that generates heat warps the screen that way. So maybe this isn't a heated attack, but is a rage drive or something like that. And using it warps the screen because you're generating heat. The only confusion with that is Lars is very clearly already in heat before he uses this move, right? Before the move connects.
I can't wait for this game to come out and I'll just be one to say, use that heat, boy! Use it! Use the heat, boy! Use the heat, girl! Yeah. It's going to get to that point, right, guys?
And then when he spends the heat on the dash, it's gone. So I'm not sure what that screen warping is. It's hard to say for now until we learn more. The only thing we can really conclude is that heat can be generated in multiple ways, which is something they've said. And so far we've seen it land a punish into that scripted sprint, or Kazuya transforms and is suddenly in heat. Now, I don't have a lot of expertise on other games that use meter, so I'm not going to speculate or draw connections there, but I will say that I think it's pretty cool when characters have adaptive movesets depending on their resources. I can already imagine that using that heat dash cancel that Lars and Jin are using will probably feel really fun. I think that'll be super exciting to be comboing or beating somebody up, and then you dash cancel.
Yeah, because they want to eliminate turtling
power move and dash cancel
and defense
into a combo. I imagine that's going to be pretty fun and satisfying to use. I do have one gripe with what we saw today, though. It's all so slow. I'm going to count the seconds when Jack hits the back two. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, and then you're actionable again. So it's about 2 full seconds before you can take action again. It's the same thing with Jin's attack. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, action. So you get taken out of the game for 2 full seconds. This bugs me because Tekken really rewards the ability to make a bunch of decisions and a bunch of reads in a really fast-paced timeline to outplay your opponent. After the initial coolness wears off, it just becomes a cinematic flashy break that kind of stops one player from snowballing their momentum and their advantages in decision-making, and giving the defending player some time to breathe and make
this is gonna make him break this game. I'm telling you right now.
Players, I think it takes away.
This is going to make or break this game. Like this right here. Look at this. And you like imagine seeing this all the time in every match. You don't think that will get old quick? Like, ask yourself that. Like, seeing it in a tournament setting, you don't think this will get old quick? Like, come on, bro. Oops, I went too far.
Mistake on a good read to make a bunch of decisions and a bunch of reads in a really fast-paced timeline to outplay your opponent. After the initial coolness wears off, it just becomes a cinematic flashy break that kind of stops one player from snowballing their momentum and their advantages in decision-making, and giving the defending player some time to breathe and make a better decision. And while this is very forgiving and welcoming to newer players, I think it takes away from some of the most exciting parts of Tekken. A 2-second pause is insanely slow. This immediately reminded me of Soul Calibur's Reversal Edge, where the entire game pauses to initiate a rocket. Now, I'm not in the Soul Calibur scene, but for me, this feels like a big deviation from what makes Tekken fun, which is fast-paced reads using deep move lists and strong.
Like it just breaks the momentum. It seems like. I want to
demonstrate this by showing you guys a set.
As we looking at this, it just breaks the momentum of the match to me. I mean, time will tell as the game, is still being developed. And, when we get it in 2024, I mean, it could change, but if they going to keep it like this, ugh.
This is Genghis Khan versus Tai at the North American Finals that happened today. Now let me set the scene. This is final round in a 1-2 set. It's 1-1, 2-2 rounds. Whoever loses this goes home. I'm going to let it play through once, and then we'll start covering how fast these decisions are happening.
Okay. No, this is like the first time I've seen like an actual
about to go for a tackle.
Tournament Tekken match.
Going to break it, and then Tai lands a low parry right away. This turns into a combo. Tai breaks the floor.
Typical Marduk stuff.
Here, but he's a bit slow. Another low parry immediately. And here's another fast decision point. The combo's messed up, but he gets the duck while staying forward into a mix-up.
Look, it's so rushed down.
Let me break this down one more time.
It's so arbitrary right there. Why you want to make it more arbitrary?
Context to the match, Genghis Khan had been relying heavily on countering this generic low kick.
I don't care what nobody say. I don't mean to keep stopping the video, but Tekken 7 is the most accessible Tekken game I've ever played. I don't know why people say this game is hard, like it's some hard equation that you can find out, try to solve in an algebra problem. I don't know why people saying it is hard. I would say the movement is the hardest thing in this game, but other than that, memorizing combos and all this and that, it's not hard. It's the easiest Tekken game, bro. I don't understand it. Man, you really need Tekken 8 if you think Tekken 7 is hard, because I'm telling you right now, and we all stated this. I even stated this 2 years ago. They're dumbing it down, so you have a chance. For those of you that saying it's really hard to play,
opt Tai's offense and generate her own offense. So first there's just some poking, and then you see that generic low kick. Now the tackle break happens here. Usually both players will just disengage, kind of like a clinch in boxing.
And how the throw's going to be in the next installment?
And remembers, hey,
I wonder.
There's a low that's been coming over and over again. Now we let the combo play out really quick. Now here, right after the combo ends, Tai is going to run up and fake that he's going to attack. Dawn is going to do a get-up kick that's going to whiff. Tai's a bit slow in the reaction and goes for a whiff punish, and it ends up getting blocked. But right after, he goes for an armor move. However, Genghis Khan interrupts that armor.
See, what he just said, when in Tekken 8, all you gotta do is do that heat rush move to punish things quicker. Because they might not have a great reaction time to punish it manually. So you know what players are gonna do? Heat rush. That's it. That's all they're gonna do.
Armor move. So usually when this happens to people in game, they get kind of stunned. Like, whoops, I got interrupted. My fault. Let me just chill out. No, Tai is immediately ready for the generic low kick right after he got counter hit. So even though the situation is rapidly changing outside of the plan, he's prepared for the next step. This turns into another combo, and you can see that he actually messes up the combo. The jab misses here, the ground throw misses. So Dawn has an opportunity usually here to go for a punish. So he goes for his while rising punch. Tai recognizes that Dawn chose this move and that the second hit is high. So he flash ducks. This is after his combo messed up. Again, everything is going wrong, right? But his ability to stay in the moment and make the next decision is impeccable. He lands this while standing punish, and because Dawn had just messed up on retaliation 2 times in a row, the first time is here after the tackle is broken, he swings with a low and gets low parried. The second time is here, right after this combo ends, he swings, Tai goes for a whiff punish and it doesn't work. So Tai knows that Dawn probably knows that he might get punished if he tries to attack right away after getting up. So what does Tai do? Immediate mix-up as Dawn is waking up. Now, so many decisions went wrong so fast.
That get-up move is so bad.
He expects Dawn to just do a panic tech roll here. Mash the get-up button, get up, get back to playing the game. What does he do? He goes for a tackle that is almost unbreakable if you choose to tech roll in that situation. The chip damage from the tackle ends up killing, and he wins the game. This is what makes Tekken and fighting games in general so cool.
Yeah.
Tai is making these reads at such a fast pace and is one step ahead of Dawn at each interaction, even when things are going wrong. Now imagine if what happened instead is Tai lands this tackle, The game pauses for 2 full seconds, and Don can decide, hey, maybe I shouldn't swing. Maybe I should just back up. Like, that low parry never happens, right? There's no chance for the outplay to be made. Now, obviously, it can still happen. But part of the beauty of this moment is how the fast pace and the anxiety of the mistakes isn't allowed to be recovered from due to the pace of the match. Let's look at this again. The whiff punish fails, sure. That armor move is interrupted, okay. Imagine if here, because it was a counter hit, the game freezes for like 10 seconds. Now this low parry is way less interesting because the game is effectively reset out of its momentum state. Sure, the frames might still be in a non-neutral state, but that kind of player versus player anxiety is...
I get exactly what he's saying. Do y'all understand what he's talking about? Like, that heat, 2-second pause, whatever activation, it breaks the momentum, and it's like, it's gonna get to a point where, okay, we've seen this already. We already know what he's gonna do after, he gets up, after being knocked down. Let's use the heat gauge. It's gonna get predictable. That's what it seemed like he's trying to say. It's gonna get predictable in Tekken 8, where it's easier to punish stuff because of one mechanic, maybe more than one mechanic. They probably add some more mechanics in the game. We don't know yet, but I hope you get what he's trying to say, because I understand entirely.
In case I haven't overdone the example yet, say that Marduk lands this knee here, he goes into heat stance, sprints forward, and all of a sudden, like, Dawn has to wake up into a mix-up,
Right.
Sure, the mix-up happens right away, but that anxiety is gone. And if that
You're right. But it also forces 50-50s. It can also force 50-50s. Like, they're trying to make this game an anime fighter. It ain't gonna be Tekken no more after this game come out. Y'all ain't gonna be able to recognize it no more.
Anxiety is gone. Does this tech roll happen that leads into the tackle? There's a lot of what ifs, and if you really dig into the situation, sure, at the end of the day, it's a guess. But part of the exciting things about these games and competitions is when you put things in a time deadline or make things really fast, you get mistakes or outplays or situations that wouldn't normally happen. Again, with the chess analogy, part of the reason Blitz can be more fun to watch than Classical is because you have to make these decisions in real time at a really fast pace. You arrive at positions that normally wouldn't happen given a lot of time to calculate and given a lot of time to prepare and avoid making maybe common mistakes. But under a time deadline, you might make a mistake on a good read that your opponent isn't seeing that. So imagine if Tekken 7 had these moments where you had to pause, wait, and then execute your mix-up or your guess or your read. That kind of reduces the tension and anxiety and intensity, no? Except we do have that in this game. In this game, Deviljin has a combo ender that takes about 2 seconds to complete. It's called Heaven's Door. Until the most recent patch, it was the highest damage combo ender. So at worst, you would see it maybe 2 times per round.
Yeah.
But if they landed a Hell Sweep into it, maybe 3 times per round. If you ever played with a friend for like a decent amount of time, it gets old so fast losing control of your character for 2 full seconds just to get up and guess again.
There's going to be a lot of that in Tekken 8.
The speed of guessing leads to the high tension matches and the
There's going to be a lot of that.
Plays. Extended guessing time for cinematic purposes is kind of cool the first few times. Like for this trailer, it looks really good. The first time Deviljin lands a Heaven's Door, it's kind of
telling you, this is going to get old really fast, bro.
You know right after, the game isn't over.
Because everybody's going to be like, we've seen this already.
There are spectators that are going to lose
I know what you're going to do.
Suddenly a bit faster.
When you like,
and all Tekkens before,
when all things fail.
Light speed, super fast. You could see that as the attacker, you have to react really quickly if the camera decides to change angles, right? So like, finishing your combo, if you stay on the same attacking side, is different than if you...
I had fun with tag, too,
That's a bit from the competitive standpoint, but again, as both players, if you're playing for a really long time, cinematics can get really, really old really quickly. Now, I'm not against all cinematic changes to the game. I think that there are some ways to do it really, really well. So, for example, Tekken 7 added a dramatic camera zoom when you land a counter hit launcher. This is really useful, especially when you see a matchup like Steve. I'll show you some Tekken Tag 2 footage right here. So Nin is playing Steve, and if you don't watch very carefully, you can't really tell the transition between, movement and the counter hit happening. Suddenly, Run to Black is just getting comboed. But as a spectator, it's kind of hard to appreciate the movement and the pressure and the offense that leads to this kind of counter hit, because the payoff doesn't really feel there unless you are a player of the game, right? Here's another example. So you can see that like 3 punches are blocked, and then the back one counter hits. But again, unless you actually play the game, the impact of the moves feels very similar, except for the hit spark. right? And you can see the combo starts now, but it takes a moment to kind of click and realize like, oh, wait, he got hit. Look at this same sequence in Tekken 7. Instead of tag 2's subtle crumble, Tekken 7 gives you a huge explosion sound, and the camera's like, look, he got counter hit. It doesn't take game-specific knowledge to appreciate the event that just happened. I think that's a really good use.
Yeah, they made it more of an impact by zooming in.
Combat. It doesn't affect the gameplay that much. Now, some people will argue that it makes confirming your counter hit and getting the combo a little easier, but I think that the top level of players aren't really losing their edge because the camera tells you a little bit better that a counter hit happened. So in short, I think the aggressive nature of the heat dash canceling especially looks really fun. I think the idea of generating advantage for trying to engage will lead to some dynamic play. I do expect a lot of turtling to happen once one of the players is in heat, kind of like how when Geese Howard gets meter in this game, the other player just starts backdashing. But prior to that, it should be pretty cool. My main issue is that the slowdown on some of these heat attacks is ridiculous. In some cases, pauses
they got to make it faster, bro.
Spectators. So when
faster time
Steve lands a counter hit, it zooms in, boom, big counter hit, and it doesn't slow down the game that much. So players are still making decisions. They're still able to continue playing, continue to like do your combo, things like that. I don't think this heat mechanic is one of them. I really hope it gets sped up. It'd be really cool if Jin lands his 3 punches and then goes into the meter dash cancel, and that's his heat generation. And now the opponent has to guess really quickly. That might be pretty cool because even though it's a can mix-up, it's happening at a fast enough pace where both players don't have to like let go of the controller while something is happening. I don't prefer a forced mix-up, obviously. You can check out the last video for that. But at least it's serviceable. So those are some of my thoughts on the latest heat changes. I think that the flexibility of the mechanic is looking really exciting. I'm a little disappointed with how slow it takes for the cinematic to play out. But I am hopeful that they will continue to make adjustments as the game goes on. You know, when Tekken 7 moves...
Alright. Just to piggyback on what all he said. Now, I meant what I said about this game is going to be mad crazy. It's going to be mad nutty. For them to say to cancel all the turtling like they see, you know, what Tekken 7 competitors are doing, I think it's going to be more turtling because people are going to be afraid to press a button while they're in heat mode. You know, then again, time will tell. We don't know. It's early. Game's going to come out in early 2024. Which I could have told y'all that. I don't know why y'all thought this game was going to come out next year. So it seemed like, okay, Haral was like, okay, Street Fighter 6 is going to have its fun coming the summer of 2023. We're going to have our fun, you know, winter 2024. So, I guess they planned on that, you know. I mean, in between those times, it's probably going to be a big fighting game coming up. So, yeah, I'm gonna end this video. This is your boy, YouTuber formerly known as Master Boy 866, the Omega December the Performer, and like, comment, subscribe, the whole 9 yards. You know what I'm saying? I do a variety of videos. And guys, all you Tekken players, all you gamers out there, what do you think about this new installment of Tekken 8? You think it's gonna be fire or not? Let me know in the comments. But yeah, I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.